I thank God that Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has run to the Supreme Court and worked with the 3 tiers of government having their releases paid directly to them. If Mr. President had extended to the National Assembly his intention to go to the Supreme Court, I would have pleaded with the leadership of the National Assembly to request Mr. President to join us in the suit.
Alassane signing his presence on the need for local government autonomy, literally seeking to be part of President Tinubu's side on the legal battle the president is waging against the state governors. Anyway, it's a fight for the freedom of the third tier of government. From May to June, it's been celebration of Nigeria's governance and democracy. Just May 29, it was the celebration of Tinubu 1 year in office. By next week, precisely Wednesday, that is June 12, another celebration for Nigeria's 25 years of unbroken democracy. But in all of these celebrations, what is the take of some key players? This is the focus of Political Update today. I am Mayor Ogede. You are welcome. Various individuals across party, religious, and ethnic divides have given their own assessment on the Tinubu 1 year in office. In an exclusive interview today with Alassane Dogowa, the member representing Dogowa Tudan Wada Federal constituency of Kano State, spoke on sundry issues within the 12 months of the Tinubu presidency.
You can agree with me without fear of any contradiction that the security challenges we were facing before now has been addressed significantly. And the issues of insecurity in our communities, especially in the cities where it was becoming very rampant, and in greater number of some of our village communities, has also reduced. It has reduced because the government has paid serious attention in that business of our people's security. One, for over 8 years, the service chiefs remained the same set of people. Agitations, allegations by well-meaning Nigerians that, please, excuse these people, discharge them, get a new set of people who can actually come over and come to take over and bring up a new dimension of what Nigeria's security architecture should be. That did not happen until when Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided to make some changes in the security architects. Some of the service chiefs were changed, and he brought new hands, and these new hands are actually doing quite better than what it used to be in the past. So the security situation has also changed. If you look at the economics or the economic aspect of the country too, the dollar, the rating of dollar, it was so outrageous before. It's like the value of naira or the value of dollar to naira in the past, it was like it was changing like the change of weather in the airport. Every 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, it changed. But with what we have now, with the commitment of the new economic team led by Wale Edun and the new central bank governor, I am not supposed to be a spokesman of this government. I'm a legislator. But I have to say for fact that some of these things have improved because of the direct commitment of Mr. President to ensure that our economic system is changed for the better and for the good of the nation. Our relationship now, for instance, as an OPEC member country, has also placed Nigeria strategically. The quota we were given in the past by OPEC has now been improved. The security situations in the oil-producing country, especially in oil-producing states, especially in the Niger Delta, has also improved because of significant security provisions in that area. We are meeting up our daily production target. We are also meeting up with our improved quota as accorded or given to us by OPEC. This has always been the support, has been the commitment of Mr. President and his government. If you look at, for instance, the value of our internally produced agricultural products, it's not good that agriculturally produced goods, the foodstuffs that we produce there, on the surface, you look at it as if, oh, it's not good because they are so costly. But if you look at from the other side, it's good that our own internally produced agricultural goods are of value. They are gaining value. It doesn't matter that a bag of maize costs 70,000 naira now. It does not also matter that a bag of rice costs 85 or 82,000 naira. But the most important thing is that we have blocked our borders, that our own food that we grow should be of value. So I'm now seeing Tinubu actually working towards making Nigeria as a country like a reflection of what he made Lagos when he was governor of Lagos State. And he's working. He's working because he has the experience. It's working because he has had the opportunity to make it work when he was governor. So coming to now face a state like Nigeria now, of course it's likely to take a little bit more of time than he had it quite easier when he was in governor of Lagos State. But I believe he has the tenacity, he has also the ruggedness to face what Nigerians should face in making Nigeria greater. I will only call on Nigerians to continue to be patient with the government. 1 year, I think, is not good enough to begin to assess the performance of the government. But when you look at it from the perspective of the foundation the president is laying down for the development of our country, and for some of the selfless things that he has come out to actually put in place. Look at the Federal Capital Territory, for instance. In the past, the Federal Capital Territory here used to be something else. But in just the last 1 year, when he has gotten a very competent person handling the business and administration of the federal capital, you can tell the world confidently, without fear of contradiction, that yes, our federal capital is picking up, is becoming an epitome of a good example of a federal capital territory, courtesy of the Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Excellency Nyesom Wuke, who is ably assisted by my sister, Honorable Maria Mahmoud from Kano State. They are doing a great deal of job, and the committee in the House also, which is headed by Right Honorable Betara, is also cooperating to make them deliver the expectations of Nigerians so that we can have what we can call a very good model federal capital territory. When you go around now in the city, it is light all over. When you go around in the city, you find security people all over. So we are now in a typically advanced federal capital territory where everyone in this place can sleep with his 2 eyes closed. And I want to believe that with the example, with the FCT example, Mr. President will also go down to the periphery, will go down to the sub-nationals, and where issues affect federal government directly, I believe Mr. President, between now and the next year, will be able to effect a lot of changes for the good of our people. And I see Mr. President doing very well because I have not had a record where Mr. President denied any other tier of government their own dues in terms of financing, releases, and grants that are given for local governments and state. Mr. President has successfully delivered that. He was not found wanting, and he will not be found wanting in any one of them. Okay. But in a situation whereby every story, you put it up on the head of the president, every problem, you put it up on the head of Mr. President or the federal government, that means our people do not understand the workings of what we call a federal democracy. A federal democracy that works with 3 tiers of government. What I'm trying to say in essence is that governors at the state government levels must be charged to know that finances, releases, and grants that are meant for the benefit of local governments that are through the state governments must always be channeled to the local governments. Channeled to the local government because that is their own due. You cannot continue to have a situation whereby a governor will just pack in everything for the local governments and be working probably at the central level of the state or maybe in the metropolitan, while local communities are there dying not only of hunger, they are dying of insecurity, they are dying of non-availability of potable water, non-availability of health care delivery, all because you are denying them their dues. You can only have Nigeria working when you provide for the local government sufficient funds as is being released by the federal government. So my assessment for all the state government, like I said, may not be complete, because I want to give them that benefit of doubt. I want to give them that benefit of still having time. Those who have done well, they know themselves. Those who have not done well, who have not done anything, they know themselves. But we look forward to the government taking a different dimension of actually coming out with not only a blueprint, and a framework that will help deliver the goodies of democracy, that will also help to make local governments function. I thank God that Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has run to the Supreme Court seeking for the enforcement of the Supreme Court to make him actually reflect and work with the 3 tiers of government having their releases paid directly to them. And such governments must also be democratically elected as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If Mr. President had extended to the National Assembly his intention to go to the Supreme Court, I would have pleaded with the leadership of the National Assembly to request Mr. President to join us in the suit. Because each and every one member you now see on the floor of the House is a representative of the people. And this that Mr. President filed at the Supreme Court is a popular suit. It's a suit on behalf of our people, and it's one suit that we all support. But with or without us on that suit, I wish Mr. President well in that bid, and I hope the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will do justice to that. Because unless that is done, my brother, we will continue to be in shambles. We will continue to be in crisis, and our people down there at the grassroots will continue to face these social and economic challenges that only God knows when it's going to stop. When you're talking about the labor issue, like the president kept on saying, I would also want to say that if the labor union would be able to exercise a little more patience and perseverance, the government and the labor will ultimately come to be on the same page. Because the target of the government, our programs, policies, and objectives are mainly people-driven. Our target is to make sure that we create or improve on the livelihood of the people. But definitely, we need to be patient, because there are so many things, instrumentality to be put in place before you can be able to achieve that. But I want to say, without any fear of mincing words, I also want to say openly that the agitation on the part of the labor for at least an improved salary, an improved condition of lives, I want to say is a very genuine one. It's germane, it's genuine, and I support the labor to come out and demand for an improved payment of their own entitlements. And that the argument goes, as the argument goes, what we always talk about is, we are talking of minimum wage. Even the act is called Minimum Wage Act. I want to say that I'm by the side of the labor people, that what we need for our Nigerian workers, or our people in Nigeria, is to have what they call living wage. I also want to be of the same opinion that what is being paid now to our workers, right from the federal government, state and local governments, is grossly inadequate for them to actually address some of their serious problems. And while doing that, I plead with them to also be able to observe and respect the laws of the land. A situation whereby you put the whole country in blackout, total blackout. A situation whereby you lock up the hospitals. A situation whereby you also lock up the road transportation system, or you now lock out the airports. I want to say has gone beyond the red line. I also would like to plead with them that they must do that softly. Softly, because they must do that in compliance with the provisions of the laws of the land. Anything short of that will only plunge Nigeria into anarchy. We don't like a situation whereby we jump ourselves into anarchy. A situation whereby you have in one state, you have 2 mayors. In one state, you have 2 governors. One is called governor administration. The other one is called governor operation. That will not work out well. So let us have not that kind of situation in other parts of the country.
You know, by next week, Wednesday, democracy will be 25 years on it. You have been in the field for quite a while.
Yes.
And your role even in the 2023 elections, where the governor from Kano is NNPP, but you played your role very well, and at least the APC got a sizable number of votes, including you coming back to the National Assembly. How would you assess the journey so far, 25 years, uninterrupted democracy in Nigeria.
Besides some of the few issues or challenges, one place or the other, I want to say on average, at least on average, 25 years of unbroken democracy has produced a lot of good things for the country, because you have elected governors who are elected by the people. You also have unbroken for 25 years members of the National Assembly if elected by the people and running their offices on the mandate of the people. And at least in every 12th month of a year, there will come something you call the budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where every Nigerian would be represented in the discourse of that budget. What goes where, what goes to who, and what goes to where is being decided collectively by the entirety of Nigerian people under one roof. This is also a good development. And I also want to tell you that some of the institutions, some of the democratic institutions that are embedded in the system have also done well. The INEC, for instance, definitely you have to forgive the INEC for some of the very few lapses and there, because some of the problems that INEC is facing are mostly not to do with their basic intent, institutional intent or programs. Sometimes some of the problems INEC face are to do with the activities of other related institutions, like security, which is related to the police, like the legal system after elections, judicial system after elections. These are some of the problems that probably may be seen as creating some cog in the wheel of the or in the wheel of the operation of the INEC. But for me, over 24 years, INEC as an institution of democracy has remarkably improved in its conduct as an electoral umpire. A situation whereby this INEC that we talk about could stand ball to look at the sitting president at one time in history to say, oh, you have lost the election. Sitting president, independent electoral commission, looking at Mr. President to declare to the people that, Mr. President, you have lost the election. And also very wonderfully, very respectfully, the president responded to INEC and accepted that, oh yes, I have lost the election. And he gave way for the winner. This is one good story that you can agree with me that is worthy of celebration. On the political parties too, you may have problems to do with the internal democracy here and there, where you find some impositions, sometimes primary elections not held, and they report that yes, they have been held. All I would like to say, even for some of the misgivings that you find in or among the political parties, are issues to do with what you call a continuous, is a learning process. I'm sure some of those things might not be as deliberate as people will think they are. But when you have institutions coming up, then you need time to continue to grow them. And I want to commend every player in the democratic system for what we have done so far. And we, being the legislators, I want to assure you, with the leadership, the new leadership of the National Assembly, being led by distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio in the Senate, and our own Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, who is the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives, you take my words as for them, that we will continue to develop our legal framework as it affects our democratic development. I believe the National Assembly will continue to do the best that we can afford.
That was earlier today with the honorable member there. But still on the one-year celebration, earlier in the week, my colleague Fisayo engaged the national coordinator, Tinubu think tank at Dewale Adiogo, to get his own perspectives on the Tinubu presidency.
So far, so good. We all know how the country was when he took over. I has been made to take some very critical, so very obvious decisions and policies to reshape Nigeria and set Nigeria back into that obvious and positive strata. It might not be huru for everybody, but to us that believed in Ashwaju from the onset, before he even decides to run for president, up until now, we believe that Nigerians in Nigeria and the diaspora are going to experience one of the best ever government in the entire world. As he's going, he has been forced to take some decision that we feel is to the best interest of Nigerians. And we feel this first year, 1 year is just like taking a patient to the hospital. When you get to the hospital, the doctor will need to examine you and probably might not tell you exactly the kind of medication you take, but it's going to be painful. But at the end of the treatment, at the end of the medication, the patient come out scarred.
Where are we now? Are you in this stage of diagnosis, or you have started the administration?
No, the diagnosis has almost been completed. You can see so many things, so many projects is rolling on in every part of Nigeria, and I can see the president can point to 1 or 2 things that he has done in the last 365 days, and so it is believed that what Ashwaju has, he came in and said he knew he was not coming to govern in Nigeria. He's not coming to sleep on the office table. He's coming to critically examine why Nigerians should work just like any other good countries. And you can see, I drove around FCT 2 or 3 days ago, and I can beat my chest that this government, by the time he spends his first 4 years, Nigeria will beg him to come again and to be elected for second term.
Still on the 1-year activities, with 1 year down the line, the Center for Transparency is calling for the understanding of political parties, the media and civil society organizations to collaborate with the government in ensuring Nigeria's gas ambition positively meet both national and global commitments.
We're talking about CNG buses, CNG cars. So CNG is utilization of gas. You have LPG, you have gas that is used for petrochemical companies and all of that. So we want to now see and make citizens understand what this is about and begin to ensure that the advocacy for government to implement their plans is on course.
Nigeria put out a decade of gas policy in 2021, which was supposed to run to 2030. That plan has yet to be disclosed to the Nigerian public, and yet we are 4 years in. The question there is that Nigeria needs to ensure that it clarifies for us what the costed plans look like.
Olugbenga Edema has emerged the new governorship candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, following a substitution party primary election held in Akure, the Ondo State capital.
And developments within the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, in Ondo State, Oluwatosin Ayeni, who won the party's governorship primary election on April 26th, has withdrawn from the race, which, according to him, is in the best interest of the party.
We look inward and we observe that it's not as if we are not capable, but there are better hands that can handle the affairs of the party.
There's a constitutional provision for it, and when a party have a candidate and the candidate for one reason or the other, there's a gap that INEC and the Electoral Act have given, that within this period, if this happens, then you can substitute. So this is substitution election.
However, a former member of the State House of Assembly, Olugbenga Edema, has been elected as the new governorship candidate through the affirmation method by delegates from the 18 local government areas of the state.
Less than 5 million people in Ondo State. Let us assume that the working population is about 2 million. How many of them are working now? And why are they not working? Because a lot of them lack capacity. So because of the mantra of this party, Education for, we will help all our young ones to develop their capacity.
The substitution primary election was closely monitored by officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Thank you. That is the size of our package, but do remember that the tripartite committee of national minimum wage is currently meeting in Abuja. The ministers of labor, finance, and that of economy, budget and national planning are all in attendance. Maybe in our subsequent bulletins, we're going to give you the outcome of that meeting. That is much you can take on political update today. My name is Mie Ogedi. Do have a productive weekend.